I never thought my brain could change this much in just 30 days, but after a month of biohacking, experimenting with my daily habits, my diet, my sleep, my mental exercises, and even some weird gadgets that I honestly thought might be a little too out there, I can say without hesitation that I don't think the same way anymore. I'm not exaggerating. My memory, my ability to focus, and even my emotional stability feel different. It's as if the volume knob on my brain got turned up just enough to notice, but not so much that it feels unnatural. I've been sharper in conversations, quicker to remember things, and less easily thrown off by stress. And this all happened in just a month. Before I started, I wasn't exactly in bad shape, but I wasn't thriving either. I had a decent baseline of health, but my focus was embarrassing. I'd open my laptop, start working, then within minutes I'd be sucked into scrolling through social media or watching random videos that had nothing to do with my actual priorities. My sleep schedule was inconsistent, sometimes going to bed at midnight, other times at 2 a.m., and waking up at different hours each day. My diet wasn't terrible, but it wasn't dialed in for brain health. Too much processed food here and there, not enough micronutrients, and way too much caffeine. And there was this constant background haze of brain fog, nothing extreme, but enough that I noticed it every single afternoon. I went into this experiment with a clear plan to tackle multiple areas at once, knowing that no single hack would be a magic bullet. I broke it down into several categories: nutrition, sleep optimization, physical activity, cognitive training, stress management, and technology-assisted interventions. For nutrition, I committed to a brain-boosting diet, more omega-3s from salmon, walnuts, and chia seeds, plenty of leafy greens for folate and antioxidants, and a heavier focus on whole, unprocessed foods. I cut out processed sugar completely, which I knew would be rough at first, and I reduced my caffeine intake to just 1 cup of coffee in the morning. No more endless refills throughout the day. For sleep, I decided to pick a strict bedtime and wake-up time and stick to them, no matter what. I also introduced habits like wearing blue light blocking glasses after sunset, dimming lights at night, and avoiding screens for at least 1 full hour before bed. For activity, I added a morning workout routine that combined strength training and light cardio, plus at least one 10-minute outdoor walk during the day to reset my mind and soak in natural sunlight. For cognitive training, I committed to 15 minutes of brain games each morning and 10 minutes of meditation in the afternoon. Finally, for tech tools, I experimented with a few things I'd read about: a wearable sleep tracker, a red light therapy panel, and a cold shower routine to stimulate alertness. The first week was without question the hardest. Cutting caffeine down to a single cup in the morning made me feel like my head was in a vice for 3 days straight. The sugar cravings hit hard every afternoon, and I felt my mood drop as my body adjusted. I had moments where I wanted to scrap the whole thing and just grab an energy drink to power through my work. But by the 4th or 5th day, something shifted. I started sleeping more deeply, as measured by my sleep tracker, and waking up without that sluggish, "I need 3 coffees to feel alive" sensation. My REM sleep duration went up, my resting heart rate dropped slightly, and I started to wake up before my alarm, something that almost never happened before. The blue light blocking glasses at night made a bigger difference than I expected. I found myself feeling sleepy around the same time each night, which made sticking to my new bedtime easier. By the second week, I was finally getting into a rhythm. The brain games I played each morning, memory challenges, pattern recognition puzzles, and quick calculation tasks, were surprisingly addictive. I found myself competing with my own scores and noticing improvements. I also started meditating right after lunch, which felt awkward at first but became a valuable reset button for my mind. Around this time, I began noticing small but significant changes. I could remember where I placed my keys without having to retrace my steps. I could recall specific phrases from conversations, and I was catching myself before getting distracted while working. My deep work time blocks went from about 20 minutes before losing focus to almost an hour of sustained concentration. Week 3 was where I decided to push harder. I added intermittent fasting, limiting my eating window to between noon and 8 p.m. This was supposed to boost mental clarity in the mornings, and surprisingly, it worked. Instead of feeling sluggish without breakfast, I felt alert and light, almost like my brain was humming at a different frequency. I also started taking cold showers after workouts. The shock of icy water instantly woke me up and made me feel sharp for hours afterward. I incorporated the red light therapy panel into my mornings, standing in front of it for about 10 minutes while listening to a podcast or reviewing my day's goals. Whether it was placebo or not, I felt more alert and energized after each session. My workouts were more consistent, and the combination of exercise, cold exposure, and fasting gave me a steady energy curve instead of the midday crashes I used to experience. By the final week, the changes were undeniable. I would sit down to work and get so absorbed in what I was doing that 2 hours would pass without me even glancing at my phone. My stress response had improved. I didn't feel as reactive when unexpected problems came up. My ability to switch between tasks without losing focus had improved dramatically. My memory recall was sharper. I remembered deadlines without checking my planner. I could recite information from meetings days later, and I even remembered names of people I'd just met without struggling. My dreams also became more vivid, which I suspect was due to more consistent REM sleep. Looking back, I think several factors worked together to produce these results. The strict sleep schedule and light management helped regulate my circadian rhythm, improving memory consolidation and mood stability. The nutrient-dense diet, rich in omega-3s and antioxidants, gave my brain the building blocks it needed for neurotransmitter production. Meditation lowered my cortisol levels, reducing the damage stress can do to memory and focus. The brain training apps may have increased my working memory and problem-solving speed. Intermittent fasting and cold exposure likely boosted my levels of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, which supports learning and neuroplasticity. That said, this wasn't some magical transformation without challenges. The first week was brutally uncomfortable. Social events were harder to navigate because of my eating window and dietary restrictions, and tracking every metric became mentally exhausting at times. Some tools, like the red light therapy, I'm still not 100% convinced about. But after 30 days, the net benefits were huge. My focus had improved dramatically, my mental energy lasted all day, my mood was steady, and I was more productive than I had been in years. The biggest lesson I learned was that no single hack made the difference. It was the layering of small, consistent changes that compounded over time. Biohacking didn't turn me into a genius or give me superpowers, but it absolutely made me a sharper, calmer, and more capable version of myself. If you're willing to commit for a month, track your progress, and push through the uncomfortable parts, you might just be shocked at how much your brain can transform in such a short time.